Alright people, I'm spamming tonight, but I've just been in the mood to get some videos out that I kinda saw and was kind of last minute. So since I'm here, there's one video people have been asking for that I've been really reluctant to do, and that's because I don't know how to do it without it being awkward given my filming. So what I'm going to do is just do it, and it's going to be awkward anyways, but we'll work with it. And that video is just kind of showing an overview of my collection. So yeah, here we go. Alright, just first, the biggest overview is that I have this cabinet here, this cabinet here, and then hey, there's boxes all over in that over there, and then there's kind of the trade shelf. So that's the generalist overview. Alright, so starting here, there's just some A's and whatnot, and then my Agent X, Gail Simone stuff. Let's see here. Haha! Signed. Can you see that? Ah, it's not coming up at all because it's in silver, but signed by Gail Simone. My Spider-Man, most of my Amazing Spider-Man stuff starts like here, roughly, and most of my Amazing Spider-Man ends about here, so this entire bit here, and then some Avengers, and then you move into the Bees. Let's see here. All of Birds of Prey starting when Gail Simone wrote it. All of the Priest, Christopher Priest, Black Panther. A chunk of other stuff, Bees, Buffy, the entire run of Cable Deadpool. And then moving into, you know, Deadpool proper and all of those all the way through. Alright, and then continuing, there's Deadpool, that goes on, a little Detective Comics, a little Fantastic Four, all of 52, a lot of Gambit comics, which I haven't read all of, basically the entire Geoff Johns run of Green Lantern Corps, plus most of Green Lantern Corps in issues. I have the first chunk in trades, but it's all of that up until the new 52. And there's more of that here, and then a bunch of randomness, a lot of Quantum and Woody, if you've heard of that. Moving into Rose and Thorn by Gail Simone, Secret Six, all of that clearly. A little bit of Spider-Man, one of my favorites, actually I should do a video on this soon, but Slingers, one of the best weird short-lived Marvel bits. Some Spider-Girl. Alright, and then I have some Spider-Man in here. And now I just threw this in, but I basically have Ninja Turtles starting around here. And then I have some of the early stuff in trades, but then I've basically the entire run of Volume 1 now, as I've said. And that goes all the way into here with Volume 2 starting here. And then I continue into the non-canonized, where is it? Volume 3 of Image Turtles. And then most of that after that is Tales of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and a lot of stuff revolving around that. And then let's see here, good chunk of Geoff Johns Teen Titans, which I actually only really got recently. Moving into Thunderbolts, and then kind of the last chunk of that, starting with New Thunderbolts and then moving up. And then after that, it's like Uncanny X-Men, other X-Men stuff, and then a little bit of Gail Simone's, Wonder Woman thrown in, but the rest of it's really just X-Men comics. And that's the bookshelf. And then you'll notice I have an assortment of comics up here. Right now I have the whole Mark Waid run of Captain America, a bunch of stragglers, some trades out that I got signed recently, including, this is one of the coolest ones, 30 Days of Night. I have both Templesmith and Niles sign this. That was cool to get that done. But in here I just have a bunch of trades, Ultra, Girls, Ghost Critic, remember that? And then The Sword, the one I told him to read because it's way better. And then a few other random trades. Oh man, Wormwood. This is one I'll probably, it'll take a while to get around to talk about, but if you're into something different, this is Ben Templesmith doing it alone, and it is an awesome read. And then my DMZ trades. DMZ is one of my favorite stories. Freaking Ultimate stuff, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I'd love to see a community video on this. Then I go into a few other random trades, and it's like all Ultimate X-Men all the way to the back. Alright, and then let's see here. I have a few other random trades going on. Death of Superman to Rebirth, Marvels. Oh, Manhunter. That was one of the best things DC ever put out. If you ever want to get in the mind of Michael J. Strensky, Midnight Nation is the book for you. And if you don't care about that, don't bother. A lot more Ultimate Marvel stuff after that. And as a point of note, I got most of the Marvel Ultimate trades for like $120 off some crazy eBay trade. Alright, I got some Flash Rebirth with some other random stuff, some Spider-Man comics I did and was planning to talk about. Mostly here I have pretty much every Sinister Six comic, most collected. This was the original Stan Lee, and then something later, and then one other arc later, and I wanted to talk about that. Let's see. And then, here I got some stuff piled up. As I said, I'm cleaning up. Right here is the box where I keep kind of like current run stuff. Under here is a box where I keep a lot of independents, so I guess I should dig through that real quick. Alright, here, let's see, some Angel comics, whatever. Oh man, Atomic Robo is, as I've said many times, one of the best things ever. Here's Battle Chasers. If you've never read Battle Chasers, it's a hell of a read, but it just abruptly stopped with issue 8. But it was Matt Herrera's pet project. Matt Herrera is one of my favorite creators. Oh, I'm sorry. Issue 9 and stopped. Then Chew here. Then I have most of that pulled out. Chimichanga Choker. It's one of the ones you heard me talk about if you've been a long-time fan. Note on this book, I was actually the first person to email Ben McCool about this book and say what a fan I was, and I'm actually the second letter printed on the second issue, so cool moment there. I got all of Echo when it was coming out, only to see that trade come out for $30. What a sucker, right? Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. Man, if you haven't read this, recommend it. I don't know if you could find copies of this anymore, but it's something called Free Speeches. It's not actually a comic, but it's a bunch of essays about free speech, dealing with mostly comic creators. And this here got me through more classes in college than I care to point out, and actually be fun to talk about sometime. But yeah, that was a good one. 40 Winks, done by a local creator. Gatecrashers. If any of you remember that day in comics. Incognito. Joe the Barbarian. Man, what a trip, right? Kick-Ass. Last Days of American Crime. Another great one. Man, Madman. I just got to talking to someone about this. I really tried Madman for a while, and I just could not get into the character. The Mighty, the reason I didn't really read Irredeemable, because I thought it was just such a better version of it. Man, Mr. Stuffins, that was a fun comic. Only 3 issues if you can find it anymore. Sandscape, man, before Dreamwave went under, this was like an anime story told in America. Best mech-to-person fight ever seen. Scarlet, I hear they're starting this up again soon. Oh man, a little bit, whatever, Spawn I own. Stumptown, they're going to be doing a sequel to that soon, I hear. Supermarket was one of those ones before Brian Wood was a name, but that was a hell of a ride. Underground, another cool one. Violent Messiahs, Welcome to Tranquility. Yeah, just a few other random ones, but that was a heck of a trip. And then just kind of a box of random comics, and then you can see over here some comics that I'm actually going to try to pack up to see about selling or doing something with, and then more here. Alright, so now in this box I kind of have a bunch of the Wildcats comics, and then later on a bunch of the old Authority comics, and I got basically all of these a year ago now at basically $1 a piece off of my comic shop, so that was a hell of a summer reading project, but that was a fun one. And then let's see, I got most of these. Some of you might remember my failed attempt to talk about Daredevil at length, but this is basically every one of the Marvel Knights run, including all of Shadowland near the end, and Shadowland was not worth it. But yeah, that's the Daredevil box right there, and then I have some Miller trades lying around of some of that stuff. Alright, sorry about the focus. In here I have more or less the better part of the old Nightwing run. That was someone else who had me get that. And then over here, actually roomed with an awesome guy at C2E2 a couple years ago, and he just happened to have all these, and so he just gave me all these What If comics to read through, and they're crazy, but fun reads, and it was really awesome of him. I don't know why he did. I actually tried to say no thanks, because guy was handing me a stack of comics, but he kind of pushed, and I didn't want to be ungrateful, and I did really appreciate it, so that was awesome. And then after that, it's just a bunch of random comics, a lot of which I'm going to try to organize, maybe revisit a few, but for the most part, I'm looking to sell a lot of it, because it's just taking up space, and I don't think I'm ever going to get around to rereading them. Alright, then I'm going to try to talk about these trades. The glare might not be so great, but I recently got to alphabetize these. As you can see, Astonishing X-Men, New Avengers, some Barry Ween, all this Batman stuff. Embarrassingly, All-Star Batman. Blankets, which I have yet to read. I know, I need to get to it. Bulletproof Coffin, crazy, right? Recently read a whole bunch of Fear Agent, that was awesome. Let's see here. From Hell I need to read, that's actually my girlfriend's. Same with Hellboy. Immortal Iron Fist is awesome, highly recommend. Kabuki, if you're into Arta's comics, that's totally it. Tried Lock and Key, like I said, tried Madman, read some noir, Marvel stuff, that was awesome. Oko is a crazy French comic translated by Archaea, and if you haven't, this blew me away. Planetary, some Power Girl, let's see here, some Sandman stuff, and most of this is signed actually, but I'm looking to try to sell it and get some Absolute editions in their stead. Skull Kickers I got mostly to write for a contest, which got nowhere for me. Some Spider-Man trades. Some of these are how I got into Spider-Man originally, so there's that. And the reason I have Brand New Day, the first two in trades, is because I saw Spider-Man until I actually went into withdrawals, basically. So, yeah. Strangers in Paradise, All-Star Superman you have to have. Emperor Joker is a super fun one if you're looking for another Superman one. Some Stormwatch that led into the Authority. Some of the Titan Ninja Turtles stuff. Transmet, if you haven't read that, that is like absolutely one of the best of all time. Some Ultimatum stuff, skip that. V for Vendetta, you have to try that. Walking Dead, of course. Watchmen, if you haven't, go check out our videos. That'll only take you a day to watch everything. Man, more Wormwood. X Factor, man, this is incredible if you're not reading X Factor. one of the best thing Marvel puts out, but I get them in these hardbound trades because that's how I do with that. And then Age of Apocalypse, I wanted to read it forever, and now I haven't. I want to reread it to see if I can make sense of it. If you heard of this Age of X and you're thinking of checking it out, just don't. It was terrible. Let's see here. Bunch of bigger stuff. The Invincible trades are awesome, and I think those Ultimate collections, if you get them off Amazon, are actually fairly cheap for the amount you're getting, and you get some cool backup materials, so I recommend that. And that is a really general overview of my collection. Oh, one more gem I wanted to show off. Check this out. Fiona Staples' 2010 sketchbook, you know, the chick who draws Saga. She signed this, and she actually gave this to me because we helped fold and staple, and she took a copy of Mitch in exchange, which I won, obviously. And it's so crazy to check out her art from before. And if you weren't familiar, she has this webcomic that she kind of did sporadically called Teens in Love in Space. And it's crazy fun. And yeah, just she also was really cool. I actually got to sit down and talk to her, and talk to her over lunch when we were doing Comic Fest a while back. That was crazy cool. So yeah, I thought you guys would be interested in that since Saga's so huge right now with everyone. But yeah, that is kind of a broad overview of my collection. Clearly too much Spider-Man, too much Ninja Turtles, but I don't care. A lot of those aren't even comics to me as much as memories. I can tell you where I bought a lot of those. I can tell you when my dad got me a number of these comics and stuff like that. Like, a lot of them I hold on to because they're memories more than the quality of comics. So yeah, if you guys want some more stuff into some of that, there's a lot of that there. Totally even like skipped over the Batgirl pile, and I did that video over the whole Batgirl thing recently. Yeah, so peace out. Sorry to spam you guys with videos, but people have been asking for this one. I'm usually too lazy to even think about doing it, but here I am. And just as a point of my dedication, it is hot as balls in here. We don't have an AC, and I am just sweating from moving comics, which is pathetic, but it's like 8,000 degrees or something. So yeah, peace out. Death threats below, questions, comments, all that. Subscribe if you want to after that. Peace.